Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. How's the microphone positioned to you? Does it sound good to you? Good, 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 good. All right, very good. We're on? Oh, okay, just like that. Okay, good. Well, wow. I really have to thank Dennis in so many ways that we didn't speak prior to this, and everything that he said in the intro was just so, so, so perfect. And I'm so thankful that I'm in this organization speaking to you, and that Dennis is who he is. I'm very, very, very thankful. This is a man that will never criticize. He will only encourage, which is wonderful. Anyway, let's get right to it. Going through, this is about going through and about heaven on earth. It's about bringing in the light, more light. There's some really good news, some really big good news. Our body can assist us in overcoming, disabling, disconnecting negative energies within us. That's a big thing. It's a really big thing. It happens really fast. Mostly that's why it's so big. There's a lot of things out there that we can do to help us with that situation. But this happens extremely rapidly, and it's very simple. It's very simple. So I want to give one example of how this might, how it might work. All of us, I feel, as we've gone through childhood, we've gotten damaged in some way, either a little bit or a whole lot, varying degrees, but I don't think many of us make it through that without something. We have some kind of pain. We're completely dependent upon our environment for quite a number of years after we're born. And during that period of time, things happen. We have parents who are crystal clear, and they have their stuff too, and they can't you're around someone all the time, especially a child. Okay, so we have stuff that we end up can be embedded into us, ideas underneath a lot of pain or not so much pain. It really varies from person to person, but things like coming out of it and feeling like I'm alone, really alone. That's one of the worst ones, I feel like, because let's take one thing at a time. So I'm alone. Let's say a child comes in, and because of circumstances beyond their control, they get the message full on, I'm alone. And so we then, as we know today, are of God. We are in God, and God is in us. As we believe, so it is. We give life to that energy as time goes by. It doesn't just go away by itself. We get this embedded into our bodies, into our cells, into our minds, into the mind in our heart, the mind in our gut. We have it there. Now we can, do very well at distracting ourselves, putting our attention on other things and relationships, a lot of things can be distracting, but ultimately it doesn't just evaporate. It's an underlying thing. So that would be one thing, but we give life to it. We give as you believe, so it is. We can't help but do that. That's just who we are. We are of God. We give life to it. And if it's stuck there in us, and we're not given any reasonable channel of disabling it, then it can stay with us for our whole life. There's thousands of examples, thousands of ideas or words that could be substituted for I'm alone. I can remember there's something so wrong with me that I can't change it no matter what I do. I'm not okay, pure and simple. I'm not okay. There can be any number of things. I'm sure that if you, I don't need to tell you this. By the way, I am speaking. I'm starting out trying to give a presentation and trying to deliver this to the best group that I could have imagined. You know, I could be in front of a camera and some of these, it could be horrible. It could be really bad. Because I may know the practice, but I'm not a presenter, at least until now. I'm a presenter. I am a presenter. Okay. So I'm thankful for that. We give life to it. So that would be just one example of what this practice and utilizing this body, it's built into our bodies. To me, it's looking back on it after having done this for some time, it's like it stands to reason that there would have to be something simple, something fast to deliver us from those type of things, because we are in a human form which is biologically emotional in nature. We're not intellects with emotions like a Vulcan. We are emotional beings with an intellect, where love, is first and foremost for us. Love is really what matters. We want to allow to bring up more of the love. If we have a being, one of us, any of us, that is walking around with these type of energies that are unresolved because we haven't had an avenue to resolve them. Yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing else out there. There's a lot. A lot of people are doing that. This is very much needed right now. We have a lot of negativity in the world. We have a lot of darkness feeding off of this energy. It's just the right time. It's really the right time for it, for this practice, and to utilize our body to be able to disconnect, not have those energies, those negative energies within us sitting there and us giving life to them as we do. I'm looking over at the time because in part of it being a good presenter, which I'm attempting to, I want to keep it short. So I'm going to try to use as few words as possible, and I would welcome anyone that wants to type into chat if you have anything to say. And we also, time permits, and we are so inclined, we have a disposable telephone number that you could call in and we could talk, what's important to you. It's hard to know, your audience when I haven't met many of you, and I really don't have any idea, who might be looking at this video. So if you wanted to call in, that would be great. What else to tell you? Give me just a moment. Let's see. I'm doing this. I think it's better to just come from the heart and tell you something. This is the bottom line. This is the bottom line. It's been battlefield tested. This practice works. All you got to do is do it. You have to try it. You have to. There's no amount of me telling you that's going to convince you, or you have to experience it for yourself. So I'm here to support that in happening. I would love. We need this, and we need it spread out. We need this relief, and it can be used in different ways. it was born in me from a lot of suffering. So that's why I'm talking, that's why I'm coming from that angle. It's not limited necessarily to that, this practice, but it's really good for that. Really, really good. So it could be something on that level of something a soul has been carrying around with them all their life. And it's just like, time after time after time after time, you get up so far and then bam, you have the same experience, like in relationships, you go into the relationship and you get the same, and then it doesn't work and it's the same theme and you go some different city, different person, different face, but you end up having the same vibration, the same energy, the same thing, that you're carrying with you, your baggage, so to speak. We all have baggage. Some of it is very, very, very light, and some of it is horribly heavy. And for those that are horribly heavy, they tend to be in prisons, or they tend to not be in prisons, and they tend to go out and want to project their pain onto others. We have something for that. Just like whenever Dennis and I first came together and he talked about prisons, this is doable. This is workable. This can make a big shift. But we're not in a prison right now. We're here with you guys. And I want to know, what would it take to make a difference in your life? What would it take to have you at least try this practice once with something, and let us support you in doing that, whatever way you need, and find the value for yourself. Oh, you got, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, of course, yeah. So what is the practice? How's the body doing this? What's the body doing? Well, it's simple, and in the very beginning, I think it's really easy, but it's a very, very simple thing. Now, the mind will tend to, doesn't have to, I'm not putting that out there, but the mind can kind of poo-poo anything that it doesn't do. Our minds are great for identifying a problem and coming up with a solution. They're great. They're incredible. It's incredible to our minds, and wonderful for that. They're not real effective with this type of stuff, with emotions. The mind, it takes a long time, and you got to study hard. A lot of energy. Okay, so what is this that we're talking about? How is the body going to help us in separating us so that we're not giving life to that anymore? That's the bottom line. Okay. So it involves two things that the body does pretty naturally. It's not unusual. It doesn't feel strange. Well, it might feel strange to you in the very beginning, but for the body, it's not strange. Being in a fetal position, I don't know where the camera is. Maybe I should. Anyway, being in a fetal position is very, very, very normal. This, like a prayer position or something, has got to be the most recognized position of the physical body of all time. You see Jesus in, praying, and people praying. This is kind of like the place to be. This is a position. So we get down in this position. Okay, this is one of the things where the body is going to support us. The mind has got nothing to do with it. Our only job in this practice is to put all of our attention on the negativity, on the idea, on the thought, on the feeling. It can be anything that hurts, anything that's draining you, anything that darkness can like suck more life out of you, anything that takes away your lightness, your joy. bring that up. This is about going through, just like Dennis said. That's exactly what it is. You go through. But the good news is if you're in this fetal position, face down, it's not nearly as hurtful as if you were standing up or sitting in a chair or anything else or laying on a bed. If you will be down in this position and feel it, it won't be overwhelming like you might have experienced in the past. You can go there. You can go there. And just let your body tell you how long and to what extent. Your body will tell you. Your gut, just feel it. It'll feel good. It'll feel good going into it. Absolutely. And then at the very end, after doing that, there's a movement that is referred to as wrenching of hands, I believe. It's like if you're, really kind of like, and it's like, it's kind of a wrenching, kind of like, like that. Well, again, your only job is to really be in your feeling, your negativity, the I'm alone. I might just touch on that more, on that, what we adopted from childhood. I take that and I can see the correlation. I can remember. I've done, probably a lot of you have, but I can remember because I've worked at it, not because it was fun to do or natural or anything. I tried to go back and see what it was. What did I adopt? What's going on here? And I can remember. Now I have a correlation between what I was taught and the circumstances that I was in, what I learned from the circumstances that I was in, what we all learn. We learn something from circumstances that we find ourselves in. And then I look at the correlation between, it's showing up right now. That's exactly what I've got. And it doesn't matter how many times I change relationships, I still end up there. Still get that. Same thing. It's my baggage. I'm carrying it with me. Okay. So what we want in this, what do we want? We want the most potent energy that you can get in touch with, that is bothering you, that's hurting you, that you can feel. So what that would mean is, for one thing, there's a lot of people who have had a tendency to want to talk it over with somebody else, to get relief from the pain, and that's great. It diminishes the energy, but it doesn't get rid of the energy. And for this practice, that's the last thing we want to do. We don't want that energy diminished one bit. So we don't want to have spoken to it about anybody else and with anyone else. No, we don't want to do any watching TV. No, that's great. You can watch TV and get our minds off of it and go someplace else. No, we're here on the battleground, in the trenches. We're in the trenches here. And we've got this going on, and we're going to go through it. And in order to go through it, we want the most pure form, potent energy of that we can feel, that we can get in touch with, and take that, as I call, to the altar. This is the altar, okay? You're in the privacy of your home, in your bedroom, on your bed. Nobody else is around. You got your feet hanging off. Your body can do anything it wants to. In the process of doing this, if you find yourself yawning, that's big thumbs up. That's really good. Yawning is like, something's going on. It's kind of, the catchy part of this is the mind is not doing it, and you really need to keep the mind out of it. So if you're feeling this stuff, and the mind comes in and says, what do I do to fix it? No, just let it be. Just for a few minutes. This is not going to take a lot of time at all. Just for a few minutes, be with this and allow your body to support you. and to love you. This is a good thing. Just allow it. Just allow it. Just surrender. Yeah, I surrender. I surrender is, we all live in our mind to some extent or another. We do. All these hundreds of thoughts, thousands of thoughts going on every single day, and we identify with our mind. If we were to pass tomorrow, our mind doesn't go with us. We're more than that. We're not that. We know that, but we don't live that way. Okay, so we are fairly identified with our mind. If you don't like my beliefs, well, you don't like me, all this stuff. So whenever in this practice, whenever we go into it, to say I surrender is a good thing, because I would be your mind, because that's what's been identified with. I surrender. I surrender into this feeling, this what's going on with me, this hurt, this pain. Again, I'm coming back to the suffering, coming back to that. Go into that. We're going to go through it and come out the other side. And it's, whew. Well, that part of it I have to leave for your own experience. I want to leave that for your own experience. I'm not going to use my mind to try to influence what you're going to feel, should you decide to try this for yourself. Okay, so we take the untainted, pure, and it could be, I talked about stuff from childhood, but it could be anything, really, that's draining your energy. If you're feeling your energy drained from anxiety with the coronavirus, that's draining your energy. That's hurting you. Concentrate that as much as you can. Whenever you're dealing with something like that, try to bring words to it. Bring words to it that will make it as focused and concentrated. It's like a button. That'd be like your button. Oh, you push my button. Ooh, I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm not okay. I'm whatever. I'm terrified. Whatever, something, some words that just kind of really zero in on what it is that's hurting you. The pain. Have those words. And then you can speak them as you're in this position. While you're in this position, in this fetal position, got 5 more minutes. Hopefully we got that 20-minute time span where I still have your attention. Okay. So whenever we're in this position, you can say absolutely anything. There's a lot of stuff that, like, I think you might be amazed. There's stuff that you feel like you shouldn't say. You don't want anybody to know you said. You don't want to hear it. This is the time to do it. This is the time. Whenever you're in this position, you can say anything that's in your heart, anything. Just spill it all out. Just let it all out, okay? And come back to the pain, the hurt that you're in right now, or that you're in touch with right now. So it's just down like this. You with you. You're having a conversation. You tell yourself. You can say anything you want to. I'm moving my body, and that's just because a long time ago I allowed that. It decided it wanted to do that in this position, so you don't govern it. You don't say, no, I'm not going to do that. And you don't make a big deal out of the position. It's a child pose, but, if you want to have your arms out, you want to have your arms in, the main thing is just you can feel your back being stretched out. You can feel mostly you feel it in your back. You can feel it in your back. Okay. And whatever it takes to get there. It may not be depending on your body, it may not take going all that way down. You just want to feel that stretch in your back as you're going down into the fetal position. I can feel it right there. And I'm not, don't put your focus on. I want to try to put these two things into muscle memory if you can. Please put them into muscle memory so that your mind does not have attention on what you're doing physically. Okay? Please put it there. And this other motion, it can be fast, slow, it can be exaggerated, like that. It's probably good to go a little bit with both hands, left, right, left, right. But just, again, just feel it. Just feel it. Don't make it a big issue of, how many times have I done it? How long have I been there? Have I got the right position? Am I done? No. Just feel it. Be with it. And yeah, I know the mind's saying, well, this is, what good is this going to do? This is not going to do anything. Shut up. Just let your mind, just tell your mind, hush for a while. Just focus on what you're feeling and try not to think about what you're doing. Don't, have it in muscle memory. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can put this into muscle memory, and you can focus on what's hurting you just for a few minutes out of your day, and then let's talk. Let's see what your experience is. Let's see what your experience is. This is, as I mentioned, this is battlefield tested. I'm ready. Come on. Take it in there. Take it in there. Try it out. Check it out. Okay. So we demonstrated that. Is there something I haven't said about the practice itself? Is getting in touch first with something. Make it as potent as you can, as strong as you can. Don't have, just have been talking to someone about your problem and then come over and try this. No. Don't come into this with the idea of, I'm going to fix it. I'm up on my 20 minutes. Don't come into this with the idea that I'm going to fix it. Keep the mind out of it. Just feel. Just feel. Feel the sorrow, feel the pain, or whatever it is for you. Take it there and just do these two things. Just do these two things. Yeah. Pretty simple. Doesn't hurt anybody. You're not hurting anyone by doing this, and hopefully you're physically able to do this. You're not hurting yourself. So, no downside. Big upside potential. Huge. I want you to make it your own. It's the bottom line. Okay, what else, Dennis? My 20 minutes is up, dude. Just joking.
So, Dan,
yeah,
the 1, 2, 3 of it is the practice, the child pose, and then you go into what is bothering you without trying to fix it. And in that act of surrendering it is like a release. Would you say that's right?
Well, again, we're just let it happen. There, I want to give this example. I met you and this portal, and everything at a time in my life when my mind did not create this. My mind didn't create my relationship with you. I mean, go out searching or even have an idea that something like this existed. It came to me. It just came. And those are the kind of things that we put in the category of a miracle. Whenever something really, really, really good happens and you didn't make it happen, you didn't have anything, it kind of feels like you didn't really do anything. That's what this feels like. It feels like you didn't do anything. You want that. You want that I didn't do anything experience after you've done this, because the tricky part of this is we tend to want to be in our head. We tend to want to be in our mind. Just do it. Just, only takes a few minutes. I don't know what else. No. What?
Well, we don't have any questions.
Okay.
I think we'll just demonstrate it again,
Okay.
and for 5 minutes or whatever time,
Okay.
and I'm going to do it too, and we'll just conclude with that.
Okay.
Is it okay to play that music? Really, the bell music seems to add
Sure.
a little flavor.
Yeah. 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 Why not? Okay. Okay. I was just going to say, let your body tell you how long to be in the position. Um, there's no amount of time that's right or wrong. Just be there. And after you're done with all this, it's good to come back and be right here, right now. Just look around the room. Look around the room. See your circumstances. Look where you are. And that's it.
And in closing, could you say a blessing prayer for the people online and whatever you're inspired to say or do?
Mm, mm, mm. I got recently, sounds cliche, but love is all that matters. So let us feel the love. Let us feel the love. The coming together in this time. Feel the kinship, the love, the support. the blessings. Knowing that we are of the light. We are of the light. We shall prevail. We're prevailing right now. This is the time. This is the time to usher in heaven on earth. And we are the ambassadors. I give thanks. Thank you, God. Thank you, Ascended Masters. Thank you to all of those before us, all of the light workers. So many that have given so much for us to be where we are today. Thank you. To have this knowing, to have this awareness. Thank you. Surround each and every soul and person listening to this with a light, a shield of darkness, shield from darkness. May you know the truth. Be set free. Bring more love, more light. You are protected. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.